Jai Saman to all. In the previous lecture, we learned about the heterotrophic nutrition, okay, and in that we also learn about the nutrition in amoeba and paramecium. So today we'll learn about the nutrition in human beings, and before starting we must have to learn about the basic introduction of the human digestive system. Okay, so in the nutrition in human beings that take place in the digestive system, we all know about it. Okay, that is the nutrition in human beings that take place in the digestive system. Okay, and it consists of the alimentary canal and glands. Okay, it consists of the alimentary canal and glands. Here, what is the alimentary canal and what are the glands, that we'll discuss later, okay, in the next slide. Now, which provide the enzyme and then after breaks down the food into the smaller molecule. Clear? Now, before starting, we must have to learn about the main organs of the digestive system, and that are, the first is the mouth, the second is the esophagus, this is the mouth, and this is the food pipe and we call it as a esophagus. The third one is the stomach. Okay, here you can see the stomach. Now the next one is the small intestine. Okay, the next one is the small intestine, which is present here. Okay, this is the small intestine. The next one is the large intestine, and this is the large intestine. Then after large intestine, the last is the anus. Okay, so these all are the main organs of the digestive system. We all have to learn about this in a number wise. Okay, so first is the mouth, second is the esophagus, the third one is the stomach, the fourth one is the small intestine, the fifth one is the large intestine, and the last, that is the sixth, and that is the anus. Okay, and here the main glands are like the salivary gland, okay, that present in the mouth, that is the salivary gland. Then after the gastric gland, okay, that present in the stomach, that is the gastric gland. So the salivary is first, the gastric gland is the second, then after the liver, and which is the largest gland, we all know about it. Okay, the liver is the largest gland. Then after fourth one is the pancreas, and the fifth one is the intestinal gland. Clear? So these 5 are the glands and the 6 organs that are the digestive organ. Clear? So you must have to learn first of all the names which are the organ of digestive system and which are the main glands of our digestive system, and then after you all have to learn the human digestive system in detail. Clear? So here we already discussed about that. First is the mouth, esophagus, stomach, this is the small intestine, then after the large intestine and rectum and the anus. Okay, and here you have to learn about the another part, that are the gallbladder and also the bile duct. Clear? So before starting, we all have to learn about first of all the functions of all the organs. Okay, so let's start the nutrition in human beings. Okay, so here the first question will ask in your exam, and that is, what is the alimentary canal, and draw the label diagram of human alimentary canal. So in that you have to write down first of all the definition of the alimentary canal. So what is the alimentary canal? So it is basically a long tube. Okay, alimentary canal is basically a long tube that extend from mouth to the anus. Okay, I repeat one more time, that is the alimentary canal is basically a long tube and extending from the mouth, that is the buccal cavity, mouth to the anus. Okay, so this is the definition of the alimentary canal. And then after you have to draw this figure. So this figure is most important in exam based. So you must have to draw this figure one more time, and then after remember all the organs which are included in the digestive system. Clear? And we can see that the tube has the different parts, and we'll discuss. Okay, we already discussed about the different parts, and also the various region, that means these all parts that specialize the perform or they perform the different functions. Okay, so different parts have a different function, like mouth. So mouth has a different function, then after stomach, the small intestine, large intestine, anus. Okay, so these all organs have a different function. Okay, and what happens to the food once it enters into our body? Okay, so this whole process will discuss over here. So students, you must have to watch this video very carefully, because this question is very important and this chapter is also very important for all of you. Okay, exam based chapter. Now let's start what happened to the food once that enters into the body. Okay, and the question will also ask as explain the physical and chemical changes on the food in the human alimentary canal. Okay, here I am attaching the question also in the assignment. So first of all, we eat various types of food, like we eat the chapati, then rice, dal, etc. So we eat various types of food, and which has to pass through the digestive tract. Okay, we eat the food with the help of our mouth, and then after this food enter into the digestive tract. Clear? Now naturally the food has to be processed to generate the particle, okay, which are small and of the same texture. Clear? Now here which thing you have to understand, that naturally the food has to be processed to generate the particles, okay, which are small. That means if we eat the complex food, then after it enters into the digestive tract, and then after it convert into the simple form. Okay, so the food that first of all we take, okay, so that at that time it is in complex form, and after that it convert into the simple form. Okay, and the texture is become small also. So first of all the digestion start with the mouth. Clear? So, and this thing you already studied in the 7th class also, okay, in detail. So the food is crushed in the mouth with our teeth. Clear? The food that crush in the mouth with the help of our teeth. Yes? Now, when the food enters into the mouth, at that time the salivary gland, okay, the salivary gland which makes the food wet and soft. Okay, so the salivary gland that makes the food wet and soft. Okay, यानी जब खाना जाता है मुंह के अंदर, तब खाना क्या हो जाता है, सलाइवरी ग्लैंड के साथ मिक्स होकर वेट हो जाता है, गीला हो जाता है. क्लियर? एंड द सलाइवा कंटेन one important enzyme. Okay, student must listen this. Okay, the saliva contain the enzyme, and That enzyme is the salivary glands. Okay, the enzyme is the salivary amylase. Okay, not gland. The enzyme is the salivary amylase. Okay, salivary amylase, and that breaks the starch, which is a complex molecule, to give the simple sugar. Okay, here I am drawing one equation, that is the starch. Okay, so when we take the food inside our mouth, so at that time the enzyme which mix with our food, and that is the salivary amylase. Okay, that is the salivary amylase. Here you can see the salivary amylase enzyme, and that break down the starch into the sugar. Okay, that break down the starch into the sugar, here with the help of the salivary amylase. This is the enzyme. So clear? So the starch, that is the complex food, that convert into the simple food with the help of the salivary amylase enzyme. Clear? So the food is mixed thoroughly with the saliva in the mouth, and then after it moved into the buccal cavity by the muscular tongue. Yes, by the use of the muscular tongue while we chew the food. Clear? I repeat one more time. So then after the food is mixed thoroughly with the saliva, and then after it moves in the buccal cavity by a muscular tongue while chewing. Okay, clear? So this paragraph is basically related to the digestion in mouth. Okay, so this is the first organ, that is the mouth. Okay, so after that, one important movement that occurs, okay, and that is the peristalsis movement, and we all know about that. The peristalsis movement, that is what? So here you can see the image of the peristalsis movement. Okay, so here the lining of the canal has a muscle. Okay, so all the muscles that contract rhythmically. Okay, the muscle they contract rhythmically in order to push the food. This is the bolus. Okay, this is the bolus that push the food to the forward. Okay, to the forward, that means वो आगे food को भेजता है. Okay, so this is called as the peristalsis movement, which occurs along the gut. This is the gut. Clear? So this is called as the peristalsis movement. Clear? I repeat one more time, that is the lining of the canal has a muscles and they contract rhythmically. Okay, rhythmically they contract in order to push the food into the forward direction. Okay, and this peristalsis movement occurs along the guts, and then after the food goes inside the other organ. Okay, now here by such movement the food that moves in the regulated manner along with the digestive tube, and then after it can be processed properly in each of the part. Okay, and then after the food that taken from the mouth to the stomach. Okay, the food enters from mouth, then after it enters into the esophagus, and here the peristalsis movement happens, and then after it enters into the stomach. Clear? So the food is taken from mouth to the stomach through a food pipe, and this food pipe we call it as a esophagus. Okay, we call it as a esophagus. Done? And then after the food enter into the stomach. Okay, Now, so the second process, that is the peristalsis process. Okay, from the mouth the food enters into the esophagus, and with the help of this peristalsis movement the food enters into the stomach. Okay, so the second is the esophagus. Okay, the second is the esophagus, and the third one is the what? Yes, digestion in the stomach. Yes, the digestion in the stomach. Now we'll learn about the digestion in the stomach. So the gastric movement, okay, the gastric movement or the gastric gland, okay, so the gastric gland, it is not the movement, okay, the digestion that taken care of by the gastric gland. We already discussed about the gastric gland that is present in the stomach. Okay, so the gastric glands present in the wall of the stomach. So here one marker question, that is the dash gland present in the wall of the stomach. So the answer is the gastric gland. Okay, and this release the hydrochloric acid. Okay, the gastric gland that release which acid? HCl, that is the hydrochloric acid, and also a protein digesting enzyme. Okay, the protein digesting enzyme that is called as a pepsin. Okay, and the mucus. Okay, I repeat one more time, that is the gastric gland that release the hydrochloric acid, then after a protein digesting enzyme. Okay, the protein which digest with the help of the enzyme, they are the pepsin. Okay, and the mucus. Done. And the hydrochloric acid creates an acidic medium. The hydrochloric acid creates the acidic medium. Okay, it creates the acidic medium which facilitates the action of the enzyme pepsin. Okay, and with the help of this the protein that synthesize. Okay, so here we can write down the equation, that is the pepsinogen. Okay, the pepsinogen, here in the presence of dilute HCl, it convert into the pepsin. Okay, it converts into the pepsin, and then after here the protein become active, it release it. Okay, the protein, and then after it convert into the what? Peptones. Okay, convert into the peptones. I am writing here. Okay, peptones. So this is the whole process. Here with the use of the dilute HCl, that is the hydrochloric acid, the pepsinogen or the pepsin that release the protein, and that protein we use as a what? For the bodybuilding. Yes. So we can conclude that the acid that secrete out here. Yes. And then after the mucus. Okay, the mucus that protect what? The mucus that protect the inner lining of the stomach. Okay, so here the one important question, that is dash protect the inner lining of the stomach. Yes, so the answer is the mucus. Okay, the answer is the mucus that protect the inner lining of the stomach. Yes, and from the action of the acid under the normal condition. Okay. So here we can conclude that the mucus that protect the inner lining of the stomach and from the action of acid and the pepsin. Okay. Here we already study about the acid, that is the HCl, and the pepsin. Action of the acid and the pepsin enzyme under the normal condition. Okay. So this is the normal condition, and then after we have often heard adult complaining about what we all suffered from this. Yes, or suffering from this, that is the acidity. Yes, you all suffering from this. Yes, sometimes. Okay. So we have often heard this word, that is the acidity, and that can be related to what has been discussed above. Yes. So can this be related to what happened with discuss about? Yes or no? Okay. So the acid that produced in our body, in which portion? In the stomach. Okay. That is the hydrochloric acid. Yes. Now the exit of the food from the stomach, okay, the exit of the food from the stomach, that is regulated by some subtype of muscle, and that are called as a sphincter muscle, that are called as a sphincter muscle, which release it into the small intestine. Okay, so this sphincter muscle that release the food into the small intestine. Okay, so students, we have to learn today till the till the stomach. Okay, and in the stomach the food is partially digested. Okay, then after in the small intestine the food is also the half digested. Okay, and it entered into the large intestine, and the waste material that excrete out from the body. So we studied till the stomach, and the rest portion is this. So we'll discuss in later. So students, if you have any doubt in the three part, that are, first is the mouth, second is the esophagus, and the third is the stomach. Okay, so you can ask me in the comment box. Okay, so I can clear your doubt. And here I am attaching the assignment. But student, first of all you have to watch video properly, and then after your assignment will open for you all. Okay, so keep learning, enjoy your day. Jai Swaminarayan.